Well, it's a big show this week, Sip. We're going to be talking about everything. Let's start with the two naughty boys in Vegas playing the pokies till 7:30 from the Cowboys.
All I know is that they're well hydrated. How about old Brycey Young, though?
Oh, Brycey Young, he is just slicing and dicing. Talking about slicing, Atlanta Falcons and Raiders O-line are cooked.
Oh, they're both in trouble. I'd rather be the Falcons right now because the Raiders are a crap show.
Look at me, I'm spitting everywhere. I'm like Jamar Chase. I'm on the sidelines. Oh, that's a big one there. Anyway, big games this week. Chiefs season on the line. Christian McCaffrey Cup. Rams hosting the Bucks. And the Cowgirls, as Sip likes to call them, playing the Philly Eagles. But this one's in Texas. I want those Cowboys. Here we go. Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces NFL show powered by PointsBet Week 12. But before we get into Week 12, we're going to review Week 11 because there's plenty going on. But we've got to introduce our main man, Aaron Sipos. He's back in the building. His jersey has survived. Big shout out to NFL Australia. We've updated all the jerseys courtesy of them. They've sent us some great gift packs. And we might have given away, some Rixies on prime time. But we might have an NFL pack to give away to all of you in the near future. Sip, how you going, big boy? There's plenty to talk about.
Yeah, there is plenty to talk about. Big week, Week 11. We're getting to the busy end of the season now. There's complications on the line for playoffs and that. So this is big, and I'm loving it.
Let's talk about primetime football to start us off. I've got about 3 takes out of this to start it off. The Rick's bad beat. What about our man James Dav 91? He's gone with the prediction of 31-16, and Genty's been tackled for a safety, and he's lost.
He just stopped in the end zone.
He's just had enough of the O-line and said, you know what, boys, I've given up. So Josh Huxtable and his mates, Riley and Will, they've taken the Rixies home. Congratulations, boys. They're on the way.
There we go.
So we'll have to continue that.
Yeah,
but like we said, we've got plenty of competitions coming your way. And I just thought about, when that safety happened, I thought, someone is getting rinsed here, whether it's and you know what? I thought it might have been the overs, which actually went under by 0.5.
It did go unders by 0.5.
They nilled the game out with 2 minutes 30, which, as you know, doesn't happen when you've got 3 timeouts.
Yep.
I think Pete Garrell was pretty happy not to go down by another score.
Yep.
And look, let's talk about this. There's probably 2 other things. I want to talk about AJ Cole in a second. But before we do, have you ever seen 2 of the greatest wide receivers we've got in the game at the moment out on the tables till 7:30 a.m. in Vegas before the game, hammered, absolutely blind, Sip.
Unbelievable.
That's the mail.
Oh, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Didn't actually stay in Vegas this time round. Mind-blowing stuff if true. I mean, obviously both had to start on the pine for the first drive with 3 and out, and they've gone, all right, punishment's done, boys. We may have to get you back in and do your thing. So, which they did, but I tell you what, geez, like getting on the cans overnight and you're not getting home till 7:30 and then you go and play a game. Hey, maybe they should do it more often because they were absolutely electric after that. But I guess also that's what you get when you're up against the Raiders defense too. So maybe they thought, it's a bit of cruise control game. We should be all right. We'll get into that later.
Let's stay there now. I mean, seriously, what about Pickens with this? He's running and he just takes a little cut. I think he broke about 3 of their defenders' ankles.
Yeah, he did.
I only just started reading all these reports this morning. I was like, because I saw a couple of pages, and you're like, nah. But they reckon CeeDee Lamb had the head in the bin at 7:30 at some joint, just throwing his guts up.
There's going to be more mayo put on every single time it gets brought up. It's unbelievable. Well, yeah, I mean, geez, it is tough because they're actually not meant to do it. You're not meant to go in there at all. Like, I think the NFL policy is that you're actually not allowed to go inside any of the
casinos.
Yeah, you're not allowed to go inside any of the casinos or anything like that. Get yourself caught in those situations. It's part of the NFL policy. So, they had to nip it in the butt pretty quickly. The old Cowboys.
Maybe they did private room then.
Maybe
it had to be the private room.
I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't be surprised at all. Yeah.
I was thinking, what? 7:30's late, but you know what? They probably still got the 8 hours sleep because they would have been playing
all
late
day and happy days.
There's my mate. He goes, "What's your best for the day?" I said, CeeDee Lamb. And then he goes, he's been benched. I said, oh, no. I go, I can't get near it at the moment.
Oh, jeez.
We ended up getting the special got up. Had anyone on the Oz American Aces Hub powered by PointsBet. I put up my special, which was $370, and it was CeeDee Lamb, Tuddy, and Bowers for 7 receptions. I don't know if you watched it or if you got on it, Sip, but the people that did, congratulations, because we got up, but it was the last catch.
It was the last catch.
I couldn't believe it. That safety nearly killed me.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, let's talk about one more before we talk about everything else. But AJ Cole with the onside recovery kick, is that what you call it?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, the punt recovery or punt safety
onside,
kick.
whatever you want to call it. But I've never seen them sky the ball. They always go for the grubber, as we call it, a dribble kick. Yeah. He skied the ball, and I loved it. Pickens with the safe hands. Yeah. But I was just thinking, that's what you would have practiced back in the day.
Yeah, I did practice it a fair bit actually. Never came out, but you always practiced situational stuff as a punter when your number's going to be called. So I practiced that a fair bit at training, and I think the idea actually really behind it is if your guys are capable enough of catching the ball, well, if you hit it past the 10-yard line, that's okay to go and get. So ball has to hit the ground. Yep, I understand that. Maybe the bounce was a bit unlucky, but I actually don't mind it because when the returners see the ball kind of float up in the air as they do, and they don't see it rotating the normal way that they'd like to see it, they lose their minds a little bit. So I didn't mind the play at all. I think it's a fantastic one. I think the way the game was going for them, they needed to try something anyway. But it's one of those things that you don't see often enough, and I think they should bring out a bit more.
I don't think I've ever seen it. And when it happened, I went, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they don't do it more often because the chances, I don't think, you do see a couple. Yeah. I think we got one, I think the Bengals did one against the Bears maybe a few weeks ago, I think. But I don't really ever see that, that grubber kick work. And that one that goes in the air, that ball bounces back.
That's right.
Like we've done it with our Sharon's.
The reason why it doesn't occur as often because obviously after a safety, the ball gets put back to the 20-yard line. So normally what you want to do is just get the territory. You've given up the 2 points. You are just wanting to get the field position and just, get your defense to get to work. So it's really why you probably don't see it often enough. Because your ball's at the 20-yard line. If you don't get it back, well, then the team's obviously in field goal range pretty quickly, and therefore 5 points are getting given up pretty quickly in the game. So again, I understand the situation. The Raiders were down by obviously 16 or whatever. What was the score? 33-16 or something in the end. So they were down by 17 at the time. So they needed to try something to stay in the game. And that's often why you don't see it often enough.
Can you do it from the normal spot?
No, I don't think that you can. I think the onside kick is always purely just for the kickers. This was because it was after a safety you can get the punter involved to be able to do an onside kick. So that's why you don't see it often enough. And it's high risk, as I said, because of where it is on the field. When they're kicking it from the -20, it's a very risky play. But I understand why they had to do it being down 17.
There you go. That's why I probably haven't seen it. Well, we'll keep moving and talking.
There's a fun little fact for you, everybody.
That is a fun fact. Let's just on the Raiders.
It's look, I mentioned it. I'm sure you've got a couple of things to say, but that is an organisation that is genuinely struggling right now to find any form of identity, which used to have the biggest identity, I reckon, in the NFL. So it's really kind of disappointing to see at this current time.
To anyone out there that is a Raiders fan and you're in the age bracket of 30 to 40, I just want to say I'm thinking of you because you wouldn't have seen much success at all. I think they've had 2 winning seasons out of 23, you told me before the show.
2003, they've only had 2 winning seasons above 500.
And they used to be unstoppable. So to anyone out there that's just doing it tough right now, we're thinking of you because it's not going to turn anytime quickly unless one of their their co-owners in Tom Brady comes down and starts throwing the ball around at 45, whatever he is. Yeah. There's a lot of problems.
Better option right now, to be honest. I'm telling you.
I don't think he'd go behind that.
Ain't the answer. I'm telling you right now. That's been shot to pieces.
I think Gino's copping it, on the chin, and he said, blame it on me. If your car breaks down, blame it on me. Well, I'll blame it on you. I couldn't get a park this morning. So, Gino, I can open up some spots, Gino? But the O-line is so bad, and I just thought about their strategy, and this goes to the whole, Pete Carroll, he's an amazing coach, right? But what juice do you have left after 70 in life? What guy at 70 is just dominating or seeing that, you talk about that growth mindset. How much growth can you get out of a 70-year-old coach? First thing, and obviously he's Chip Kelly. He's the most expensive offensive coordinator in the league. He's on $6 million. Mm-hmm. His offense is ranked 31st. Mm-hmm. And then you go to the draft table and you pick a running back who we all get excited about, but you're setting him up to fail and there's no O-line. Yeah. So the 3 key things there with your first pick, your OC, your head coach. And then, you know what? The fourth one is let's go get Gino and pay him a bomb, guaranteed, when you could probably go get someone else that's a bit cheaper and give them more protection on the O-line.
Yeah.
I just think it's time to get rid of, Crosby, Bow. You got to blow the whole thing up if you need some picks. I don't know. I feel like it's a Jets.
It's a Jets situation a little bit, isn't it, to be honest?
It's Sauce Gardner, Quinn Williams type operation
and
next year.
Max Crosby comes out a lot and he says, I'll be a Raider for life. I don't want to go anywhere else and things like that. But I just think if you're an organisation, you genuinely just have to start again. You just have to go from the ground up and work your way from there, because it's disappointing to see. Yes, they're in a tough division, but they're such a proud organisation. They've got such a rich history and they've been moved around a little bit, and they've tried to find ways to get guys in to be those dominant players. They had Devontae Adams. They thought Derek Carr would be the answer. It hasn't worked, and I just think you need to completely start again and really just find a way to just go, all right, this is what we're going to be doing. And it's going to be a 3 or 4 year process, but hopefully we see the results at the end.
Probably should have kept Myers as well, just to the end of the year, because they could have got a bit more currency out of him. Maybe. I know he's gone to the Jags, and in the end, we were wrong because we didn't know Hunter was injured, but he's found himself in a great spot. But they needed Myers badly.
So
Trey Tucker
Brock
and
Bowers
Brock
needs
Bowers
Myers so badly. It's just,
they don't have enough. I mean, Lockett's out there, but he's just, he's your third down, Keenan Allen type role. Anyway, I just want to ask you a quick question. Who would you rather be a fan of? The Raiders or the Falcons?
Oh, I'd rather be a fan of the Falcons right now. Yeah, I think at least they've got young guys that you can work around with. They've tried to do with with Penix Jr., Bijan's obviously a star. The defense needs to get going a little bit, but we've seen what they're capable of doing. So I think there's probably more upside to the Falcons right now compared to what the Raiders are showing. That's showing a bit more promise. But I tell you what, two organisations that are finding it very, very hard right now.
The Atlanta Falcons have cooked me, man. I had them. They were my last leg of a multi. If CeeDee Lamb scored, it was obviously the day after, so I was like, if he scores, this will hurt even more. And it was the way they went down. Their defense is the reason I thought they could win that game. They were up 21-7, and then they just shut the bed. And I must say, you got to turn to Bryce Young and give him his flowers. 448 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, but also the OT win, and just Tommy Tremble going for 56 late. Broke my heart, man. Like the missed tackles and all that. I know you're fatigued, boys, but you're at home, season on the line type stuff. And the reason it was so big for the Panthers is there a chance to win the division, but the Falcons have the easiest run home, and their games against teams in their division. If they had won that game, that division would have been so exciting, considering there was a couple of favourable losses to other teams in that division on the weekend, and Atlanta had it in the box seat. And then obviously Penix Jr., the news that's come out, he's out for 9 months with an ACL injury. Drake London, he's got the PCL, he's week to week. It's getting ugly there, and you now got tough. Kirk Cousins, who is going to run the offense completely differently because they know that he can't really get out of the pocket. They've got quarterback issues. They're paying, I think, $180 million there, so top 10 pick, and then an older quarterback that's on the way out, you'd imagine, who hasn't not fired a shot since he's come back from his injury. It's disappointing.
Yeah,
I think
ugly.
I think they have to win every game, and they still have a chance to probably win. I feel like 70%, but I'm now out on the Atlanta Falcons. I thought that game was the one they could then pick it up and get going, but that was disappointing.
I was really hopeful for the Falcons this year, and I know you certainly were. I still thought the Bucs would take out their division, but I really thought the Falcons could definitely push for it this year. I thought they had the right mix. They showed it earlier in the season. I'm not really too sure what's happened, but it's just a team that just can't get things going when they need to. They've got the firepower. Drake London's been special. I still think they need to use Bijan more. Darnell Mooney has gone completely missing, and he was big. He was big for him last year. And they've spent money on the defense because they knew that's where they needed to get right, and it just continues to not work for them.
It's not working at all. And I mean, the guys you're mentioning, it's hard to watch. I thought Bijan was used a bit more early, but I think, early. He had like 100 rushing yards at half time, and then he had about 2 in the second half.
Yeah.
The second half, I'd love to know what their Monday review looked like. All right, well, I'm not going to talk about them anymore.
The other part I will say to add to that too is with the way they're going right now, being 3-7, they don't even have a first-round pick next year.
The
Rams have got their first-round pick, and it's in the top 5 arguably right now. So you are just...
Pick 10, I think.
At the moment, which is, you're just shooting yourself in the foot because you're obviously expecting to win. This is why you made that trade. And it's just dire straits for them right now, which is so hard to be able to deal with. And where do you go? I don't know. Where do you go?
Well, where I went was
licking their lips because they're a Super Bowl favourite and they've got the top 10 pick. Thank you very much.
I was just thinking the GM was watching the game in a completely different mindset to me. I was like, please don't lose. And he's going, lose because we need that pick. And they're now looking, oh my God, they'll still be competitive. But just watch them. They're one of those teams that you'd think they'd fire back. But I've lost all confidence.
Yep, agreed.
All right, let's go to another question I've got for you. There's a lot of review content here because there's just plenty to talk about. And this week there's 4 teams on bye and there's a few Pucci games and we're going to focus on the blockbusters. But I want to go to the Vikings. Talk about if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't understand why clubs do this at quarterback. They cook it, they get a young gun, and they get rid of this superstar. We've seen it with Love and Rodgers, but it's different there because Rodgers is really old in the scheme of things.
And Rodgers still played 2 more years there to be able to mould Love into what he kind of is today. So that's the difference, I'm assuming, from where you're about to go.
JJ McCarthy versus Darnold. I don't understand it. So you got 3 years, $100 million contract to the Seahawks. It was $55 million guaranteed. 32 was a signing bonus, so the cap hits finish really. And you go into a division in the NFC North where you know that Goff, Love, and Caleb Williams aren't going anywhere and they're only going to get stronger, especially the Bears. We know what the Packers have just done. So you need to be really competitive. It's like win now mode, especially for them with Justin Jefferson and they got Addison and they got that Brian Flores, got that defense humming. But the position that's killing him is quarterback. Yeah. They can't hit a deep ball. No. He's
overthrowing everything.
He's overthrowing everything. He's young. Like, it's his second year. He's coming off that injury. But I just reckon they're probably sitting there now going, why did we get rid of Darnold? Darnold throwing 4 picks against the Rams, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. He's seen a few ghosts last week, but he'll bounce back this week. Yeah. He's had an amazing year. And if he was at the Vikings, I reckon they're probably almost winning that division.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're in a similar spot to what they were last year. On top of the division, the defense is complementing what the offense is doing. Darnold's finding Jefferson like he's finding JSN this year, and JJ's a happy man. We saw the frustration on the weekend. We haven't seen that too much from Jefferson, and things boiled over for him on the weekend. And it's been a tough watch because he's arguably the best wide receiver at the game, at this current point, and him not being able to get the ball is a tough watch. And when you've got a quarterback, as I said, overthrowing him, not but by a little bit. I'm talking overthrowing him by 3 or 4 feet over his head that he can't even get up. And he's got great hands. He's got an unbelievable jump. And if he's not been able to kind of get anywhere near it, something's definitely going on. So it's just I'm hoping it's only a 1-year pain. I'm hoping it because it's his first year. It's just he can deal with it right now, and they just have to take a season that's less than 500, and next year they bounce back. But the young fella's got some work to do in a very, very tough division that is going to get better and better each year.
Yep, it's going to be one of those ones we're going to keep watching over the next 3 or 4 years. But I reckon that the Vikings, I don't know when the last time they made an NFC Championship game, but they are nowhere near it if they're going to stick with him if he doesn't get better. Yeah. Like, I know he's young, but I was thinking about the fallout effect, and it's the Justin Jeffersons of the world going, I can't keep playing here. He's going to kill me. Like, I'm talking in a year or two. But if he doesn't get the production he wants, they all want to be legendary, and he's already broken all the records. Well, he ain't going to break them if he has this quarterback that can't, deliver the ball. They play from behind. But yeah, I think it's frustrating because they were really fun to watch.
Yeah, they were. His numbers were, we know what the numbers are for Jefferson, and this year he's averaging half that. I think he's averaging 54 maybe a game, if that. So it's definitely affecting his production right now. And, the last time they were in an NFC Championship game, they got absolutely smoked by the Eagles when they won their first championship back in 2017. So it's been a hard knock for the last few years. They thought Kirk Cousins would be the answer. They rejigged it all there. And, look, maybe, as I said, I'm just hoping it's just 1 year where they just kind of have those little struggles offensively. The connection gets built again over next year's training camp and off-season, and then they can kind of bounce back and be competitive because they've got everything else around them that can certainly work.
Well, the teams in their division we'll talk about later, but the Bears are humming. All right, I want to ask you, I want to talk celebrations. I thought I'd seen the coolest celebration last week. I want you to tell me, what was the Sally of the week? Was it Ty Johnson, J-Mo Williams, or Leggett? Your man, Leggett. Come on, Leggett.
Ty Johnson was pretty cool.
How long has Ty Johnson thought of that one? He's not your typical...
For a long time, because he doesn't get in the end zone often, I reckon. I think that's what makes it more impressive, is that you genuinely know that he's been thinking of that one for a while, and I like it. So I'm gonna go with Ty Johnson.
Yeah, I agree. Ty Johnson, that was unbelievable. I reckon they're having a field day with that one. And only a little pump. I think you can get one or two. How many pumps can you get away with this?
You can get away with two. Rico Dowdle found out the hard way a few weeks back.
Sounds like sipping home. 2 pump sippers. Oh, there you go.
Hey, well, at least I get a pump here, Tommy. I don't know how you're going these days, but that's okay.
I got another take for you. But do you think does Leggett have the coolest trademark celebration in the NFL?
He probably has to.
When he rides that horse,
so cool.
I reckon that's the coolest celebration.
I'll take my horse to Old Town Road. I love it. It's great.
Him or Jefferson? Who's got the best trademark celebration?
Oh, Jefferson started it, didn't he? Like the gritty. The gritty's pretty. The gritty's pretty
I reckon
good.
This one's slowly catching up.
It's getting
the gritty hasn't been out there for a long time.
It hasn't been. It might start to take over if he keeps getting the ball in the end zone. That'd be nice.
Bryce Young's playing. Yeah. And what else have I got? Oh, I've got one more for you. Jamar Chase. Okay. So anyone out there that has Jamar Chase in fantasy, you must be so flat. But let's just flip that for a second. Imagine that you need to win this week and you're going up against a team like Joe Watson who needs Jamar Chase to play, and you're playing that team and he's on the sidelines because he's got a week for spitting. It's just Christmas. Fantasy football, it's heating up right now. And with Chase out, it is just causing all sorts of drama in every fantasy league right now. I know it.
Oh, it's just so...
How's the goober?
I mean, it was that long and just all over Ramsey's face, like just genuinely like hoiked it at him, and then he has the audacity after the game to say, I would never do anything like that. Don't ever accuse me like that. Okay, mate. But that's tough. That is a tough one to take. I mean, there's some spots on the line. I know in another fantasy league of mine, I've got him, and I need to win, and it's going to be very, very tough to do without that man getting going. So we'll speak about it later, I reckon, too, because I think they have the Patriots this week, so that doesn't make life any easier going up against that defense. But you may have to start looking at other options because I think he's got a few tough games coming up, Jamar. And if you're in that situation of trying to make the playoffs in fantasy and that, maybe you try and get a little bit of value for him elsewhere. But it's definitely one to watch.
If you are fighting it out in fantasy, I think you need to trade Jamar Chase to a team that's going a little bit better than you, which will cause all sorts of dramas maybe in your league, and try get something back because he's out for a week. If you need a win, you need to get something in, and he does have the Ravens twice coming up, who he can tend to cook, but sometimes they double team and Ravens defense is going all right, and I just reckon they could pressure Flacco a little bit. Watch this space. All right, well, I think that's all I've got, unless I've missed something, Morgs. I reckon that's all we've got from last week. There's obviously plenty of other injuries that we'll talk about. Marvin Harrison's out, but we'll get to that later on in the show. Before we get into week 12, Steph, it's time for your favourite segment. All the aces out there. It's the 2-minute drill, and I want to be even quicker than 2 minutes. Here we go, Steph. You're under the pump. It's Geno Atkins in the pocket type stuff. All right, Jakey Andrews. Chargers could be the most overhyped and irrelevant team in the NFL.
Yes, and we'll We'll speak about that very soon.
Oh, boy. Tyler Hinbrain. If Justin Herbert was half as good as people say he is, he'd be half as good as Bo Nix.
Oh, no, we won't go that far. It's really tough.
Tyler Hinbrain is in the comments every week. I love you,
too.
brother.
You're good.
I'll put up
some good stuff. I love
We'll put a photo up of like a female Tommy Talks guest, and he'll go, "Is that Bo Nix?" Like he's just obsessed with Bo Nix. This man.
Good on ya. That's great.
Richie Mathers. Someone hold Dan Campbell accountable for his diabolical play calling.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you got to do it again. You got to do it to keep holding on to the ball. I know. I'm assuming it's the fourth down plays. I get it.
0 from 5, Sip.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Hopefully they can just get it right. I'm not too worried at the moment.
I disagree as well, but it's not my 2-minute drill.
Yep.
Jevy 100K, pay $160 million a year, trade one, cut one. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix.
Overall, are we talking this year or are we talking overall? This is my question. I'll go overall. I'm paying Jaden Daniels $60 million a year. He's an absolute star. I'm gonna trade Bo because I reckon he's good value right now. He's going well, and I'm just going to cut Caleb Williams. I'm just not there yet.
You can't be cutting Caleb, can you? Is it why?
I just fucking did.
Wow, he's been red hot.
No, I can't wait for the feedback on this. I'm always excited about this. Let's go.
Jed Millard, Niners will make the playoffs.
I think they're a smoky. Yep, I know you spoke about it a few weeks ago and that, and yes, the Rams got hold of them, but I still think they're a smoky to make the playoffs. Yep.
I think their offense is great. I just think their defense has got a lot of injuries. Cooper Bentley, Cowboys will make the playoffs.
Tough run. Eagles this week. They got a tough run home. I'm going to say they're going to just miss out.
All right, well, that's all we've got in the 2-minute drill. Some great questions, and talk about the Cowboys, Eagles. That's getting me a little bit toey. A lot of hate there from the Chargers, Sip. What are you laughing at? Do you agree?
I probably tend to agree, to be honest, right now. Who would have thought that at the start of the year, I actually had them as a bit of a Super Bowl contender. I thought they have got the caliber of players. The defense is very strong. Herbert is just ready to go, and he's got the people around him to do it. And I know there's injuries. I get it. The O-line has got injuries, and it does make it tough. But overall, it's you can't win a Super Bowl if your O-line's going to give up that many pressures on for your quarterback. They give up the third most pressures in the NFL, and you got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you're not giving him enough time to be able to work his magic.
Is he one of the best though? Because his record against a team over 500 is very poor.
And that is very true. You can definitely knock him on that. So there's no doubt. Stats prove that maybe he hasn't stood up to the biggest games of all, and that may be true. I mean, they're up 27-0 in a playoff game a couple of years ago, and don't get it done. If you're a team that's serious about winning a Super Bowl, you go into Jacksonville, no matter what it looks like for you, and you go and get that job done, except you get blown out 34-6 to a team that just gave up 19 points, 20 points in the last quarter alone the week prior, to a team that was struggling offensively too in the Texans. So you've got a way better offense. Your O-line, yep, I know you're hurting, but I still think you've got enough there to make it work. You've got Keenan Allen come back, Ladd McConkey. You have got Johnson there as well. Gad's tight end. I know Hampton is your number one running back, but you've still got guys capable there to get it done. But if you can't stand up against the bigger teams that are going to be in the playoff situation, then you're just not relevant. You just don't become relevant in this league. Your division's already hard enough. You got the Broncos and you've got the Chiefs. I know the Chiefs are struggling right now, but they are still going to be there when the time matters. And if you're not going to come up again, go up really strong against these teams that are going to matter at the busy end of the season, well then, as I said, you just become irrelevant in this league, and it's too hard to be able to win Super Bowls without having a strong O-line and a quarterback that can get it done against teams that are above 500.
I must say, the AFC West in Denver, Chargers, Chiefs, and Vegas Raiders, they're not all going really well. Like Denver, they're sitting 9-2, but they're just scraping out wins. They were actually pretty good on the weekend, but there hasn't been that killer blow, has there, where you watch the Eagles' defense smother them and their offense get to work, which the Eagles hasn't. But you know what I'm saying with the Bills, what you see is what you get. Just a real contender. It's fascinating. Yeah. I think the Chargers sitting at 7-4 at the bye. They sometimes hit the bye. I mean, you'd know more than me, but when I watch teams hit the bye, they need that bye. They're cooked.
No doubt.
So when you hit the bye, it's a bit of a reset. They might be able to fix a couple of things, and there's always an outlier performance. Yeah. And that one for me felt like the one you could grab and pretend you didn't see it.
I'm hoping that's the case. But I said we had high hopes for the Chargers. We really do. I love the Chargers. I think they're a great team. On defense, Khalil Mack, Darwin James, they're stars. And maybe they do need the bye because it certainly looked like that was the case on the weekend. I know you travel to the East Coast and it's a long flight. You're probably tonguing for that bye as much as you possibly can. But getting blown out 34-6 is just unacceptable to a team that's chasing the number one spot in their division, and you're going to get home field advantage from it. So hopefully, as you said, it's a bit of a reset and they can bounce back. But I am a little nervous for them right now. I am.
No Joe Alt. No Chargers.
Yeah, no Slater in there as well for them on the O-line. They're two massive outs and the run game gets affected massively. And, I'm hoping that Herbert can stand the test of time because I really would like to see him in the busy end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I still think we're going a bit early, but let's see what the people think. Let us know what you think about the Chargers because they are going to probably play in the playoffs. It's just a matter of how well can they play. Might be one and done, Sid. Right, well, it's time to talk about Week 12 football powered by PointsBet. We have some great games. We have some average games, but there's some important games. But what I will say is prime time's a little sexier this week. And the reason it is because we get the Bills on Thursday Night Football, Friday our time, taking on the Texans, who the defense annoys me. They kind of can squash teams, but I feel like you can't stop the Bills, and their offense has been a little bit better to watch with Mills in terms of the passing game. He's gone for 270 plus 2 games in a row. Nico Collins getting in the end zone and looking a real threat week to week with Davis Mills under center. And we know what Josh Allen did last week. Take it away, mate.
I think the Bills needed that bounce back. It looked a bit awkward early with Josh Allen throwing that 2-hand pass, and I thought, oh no, are the Bills going to start to lose their way? But he bounced back in a big way, had a massive game. So I think that they should be able to get it done here. But the run game is very interesting. The run defense they are struggling with right now. The Bills,
big time.
Big chunk yards are getting done against them. And Sean Tucker last week had a monster game against them. So they need to find a way to figure that out because teams will stay within reach if they can't sort that out when it comes to the busy end of the year. So Will Marks, I think, is a big opportunity. I think you have to look towards him a little bit to get his game going. But I do want to see the Bills just kind of crush an opposition. I want them to make a statement really badly. CJ Stroud is out again. The concussion protocol is still in. So, Davis Mills has been going okay with it. And I'm loving the fact that Nico Collins is back in this game. He's had 2 big weeks with him being back in there. It's been awesome to see. Keep throwing in the ball. But I like this matchup purely because it is at the Texans. I think it just brings it a little bit closer. But if the Bills want to be considered a real contender, they need to get this job done.
Well, there's a lid on the stadium, which makes a lot of difference when you're watching football, I reckon, when the weather's like Philly last week. You need to take it into account. It's something that I'm really big on now. I think I said it last week or the week before. You got to start looking at the night game and especially the night games, but all games really. But the night games and the weather, I feel like games become real low scoring and hard work. Woody Marks, who you're talking about.
Woody, apologies.
You gave him a nickname. That's your nickname for him. That's your nickname, Sid. Woody Marks.
Willie.
He had 18 attempts last week, just the 44 yards. But you're right. If he's having 18, it's him or big Nick Chubb. But Nick Chubb last week, he just had the 3 carries for 17 yards. So I think you're right about Woody. Actually, me and Morgs watched Woody warm up, actually. We stood behind him at Seattle there, and I thought he looked pretty good when we watched that game. So this is you're probably on the money there. If there's anything out of that backfield, the thing is he has to get to work early because if they're playing from behind, he's probably going to be a receiving back. And I think that's when you might see Mills go for, maybe 250, 300 because they're playing from behind. Because what Josh Allen, I think, will do, he'll just deal the ball to I don't know who. It's a bit of the Chiefs about the Bills. They have so many players, I don't know who. Like Shakir. Yeah. If you've got Shakir in fantasy, I don't, but I remember last week watching the game thinking, well, Shakir's in because Coleman's been benched. That's another story. So Shakir is the main guy in the slot. they give up a heap of passing yards. I say it every week against the Bucks, and Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns, by the way. Congratulations. First time ever, 3 rushing, 3 passing. Yeah. And Shakir didn't even have 5 yards. Yeah. Which I go, how? And he's throwing them to all these guys I didn't know.
Kincaid's out too.
Kincaid was out.
Knox only had 30 yards.
So I think it's a bounce back spot for Shakir in the slot. Yeah. We know Stingley Jr. He's going to go probably to Coleman. Coleman comes off the pine for sleeping in meetings or whatever he did. We've all been there. There's been a lot of players sleeping in meetings, by the way. I've seen a few people getting punished for this.
No doubt.
I've been there. Yeah. Been there two days in a row. My alarm went to PM overnight. The next time I can self-report sick. It'll get you those early morning meetings. All right, it's a pretty simple one for me. Yeah. I just hope it's more entertaining than we think. Yeah. But yeah, the $1.38 there for the Bills on the points bet up would they think they'll get it done. Mm-hmm. I love the upsets on prime time. I tell you what, if there is an upset, Texans would go to 6-5 and Bills would stay at 7-3, and the Patriots would be home. So your Bills need to win this.
They do. Yes, they do, to stay in that number 1 spot for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. The other one I want to give you the smoky. There's a player that is like all kinds of odds. So here's my value play. Christian Kirk for a touchdown. I think he's about 6 or 7. It's ridiculous odds. He'll play in the slot. They're going to play from behind. Nico's going to get attention. They've got the big target in Higgins. We got your man Schultz at tight end. But I reckon there's a little Kirk. A couple of balls that he nearly caught last week that he just missed. Look out for Christian Kirk. He's someone that's been forgotten, and he's on that 0 touchdown list that I've got next to Matthew Golden and a couple of others and Kate Otten. So going to keep an eye on them all. All right, let's get to the prime time. Sunday morning. Fuck, how am I going? The Monday morning 5 a.m. games, the Sunday games in the States. Steelers taking on the Bears. This one's Soldier Field, Chicago. Massive game for me, being a Ravens fan.
You're all over this one. I know who you're going
the Bears.
for.
I have a soft spot for the Bears, and if they win this, they go 8-3 on the season. It's just massive. Aaron Rodgers with the wrist. You got to think the Bears get this done.
It's so funny. Like, I don't feel like the Bears have done anything outstanding, and here they are at 7-3. And just finding ways to win games of football. It's so bizarre because I don't think they're like exploding or doing anything.
Most interceptions in the league.
Yeah, I'm a bit dumbfounded, but hey, good teams find ways to win football games, and right now they're doing it. So I expect that they get this one done. Aaron Rodgers being out for the Steelers definitely hurts them. So I just think it's made it a little bit easier for the Bears to be able to get this done. And Roma Dunze should be licking his chops right now because that secondary is still giving up a fair few yards with the amount of coin that they spent to try and nullify that. And it hasn't quite worked. And I think Roma Dunze is he's just Williams' man. He's just Caleb's man right now. And we're spewing because we're wanting to see DJ Moore every single week, and we're seeing it less and less. And I think the Bears at home make it 8-3, and they put a little stranglehold on that North division, which is quite amazing right now.
DJ Moore, I'm sorry, brother. It's all over. DJ, it's been good, man. It's been good. I've officially given up.
It's done, isn't it?
You're being sent to Pill Thunder.
Yeah, it's done.
You were playing twos, DJ. DJ, you're going into the twos. You might be on the waivers. I can't even trade you. You got no trade value in my fantasy league.
Shot. Yeah, that's the problem.
I need to win. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be like Kenneth Walker last week. I said, I'm done with you. Then I play you in fantasy and you pop me.
He puts on 18 fantasy points.
He puts up 20 plus and it gets his first tud. DJ, I've given up.
So funny.
How many people out there agree with me though?
There's
How
no
much
doubt.
talent does he have? What? It's probably not even his fault, but I just don't understand it.
Well, even Chicago Bears know how much talent he has. They just paid him 4 year, 120 mil, basically. They know the talent that he's got. Why aren't you using him more?
I don't get it. I don't understand why DJ Moore's not being used.
Really tough. Tough to watch.
Anyway,
Bears should get this done.
Patriots, Bengals, no chase. Higgins he'll get a tough matchup, but that matchup's been exploited this year. The Patriots have the softest run home.
They have a good run, don't they?
It's ridiculous.
I think this could be a blowout. I just think it's a blowout.
It's in Cincinnati, so I always think when they're on the road, it evens it up. And I reckon when you got Flacco there who's not afraid.
They haven't lost on the road yet, the Patriots.
Weren't that good last week.
I know they weren't. I know, but I feel like there was just a little bit of cruise control for them, to be honest. I think they knew what they had, but I just think the Patriots are just too good. They're going to stop the run. Chase Brown's going to have a hard day getting anything going in the run game. They do give up a little bit in the passing, passing yards for a running back. So maybe that helps them a little bit, but I don't know. I just think Drake May is going to light them up everywhere on the field, and it's they can't stop anything right now. The run game will get going again. We've seen what Henderson's been able to do the last couple of weeks, and I just think that continues. I think it's just going to be a tough day for the Bengals, to be honest.
I've just got something here, a little quote from Ramondre Stevenson. He said, he's talking about Trayvon Henderson, who's had an amazing couple of weeks, 5 tuds. Yeah. How's last week? He was our ladder bet. Well, we should start laddering touchdowns.
I'll tell you what.
He went under his line.
I know.
And he had 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
I was trying to explain it to a mate that backed me in. I said, look, mate, I don't know how to explain this, but 3 touchdowns and under rushing just doesn't make any sense. Obviously, one was receiving. And I go, mate, we're stiff.
Oh, gosh. So stiff.
All right, here's Ramondre Stevenson's quote. I respect him for holding things down for me while I heal, but daddy's back.
Oh, so funny.
So rest now, brother. I have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla. Is that what he says?
He surely didn't say that for real.
That's what he said, they reckon. Hey, allegedly, that's what he said.
Oh, God. ChatGPT's gone and done something crazy right there.
Monitor the backfield.
Nuts.
Bengals are one of the worst run Ds in the league. Just know that last week, Kenneth Gainwell took over my man Warren after rolling his ankle, but they exploded. So the play here is Patriots run game, and you'd think that Flacco will be sitting back pegging it to anyone. And the guy that you want, it's Jitavas.
Yeah,
I don't know how to say it, but he'll have
to
pick up his game a little bit. And they, you know what, they actually have. Actually, you know what? While I'm at it, there's a guy that really played well in their preseason game, and I reckon he's a really good receiver. And now that Chase is out, it might actually just turn to him. So what I just said, take back. I'm just going to get his name up because his name's is Mitch Tinsley. Mitch Tinsley showed heaps for me, just to the eye. So I reckon Mitch Tinsley could be a guy that, he's an explosive player, but I reckon he's someone that might just pick up his workload, and I don't know, Flacco might have, bonded with him. I don't know, but I feel like he might come into the game and play a bit better. Righto, let's go to the next game. Giants-Lions. I want to remind I've got one stat. The Lions haven't lost a game since 2022, the week after losing. Did I make sense?
No.
Okay, so let me start again. The Lions haven't lost a game following a loss since 2022.
So basically you're saying they haven't lost 2 in a row since 2022. That's what you're going with.
Yeah, let's start again. The Lions haven't lost 2 in a row since 2022. Went to school to eat me lunch. Wait, went to school to eat me lunch, Sid.
I love that.
So they come up against the Giants.
Yeah, well, this one could be a bloodbath too.
Well, no, because Dart might be back. When Dart's there, anything's possible. But yes, it's in Detroit. They'll be filthy with last week's offense. I'm just all about Amon Ra. Yeah. Amon Ra to get involved.
It's a bounce back game for all of them. They had such a tough game last week. They go back home. The Giants defense is still giving up a ton in the run game. So you are licking your chops if you've got Gibbs, even Montgomery, to be honest, to score a touchdown and get yourself maybe 50 yards. Honestly, that helps. And Gibbs should just really be ready just to have a monster game. It was so tough for him last week. That Eagles defense just was smothering him. Goff had no idea, but it's a bounce back game, I think, for him. And you want a little same game multi. I'm going to do what I did 2 weeks ago. I'm just going to say, get on all of them and have a field day.
Reminder, the Giants have the worst run D in the league. So I reckon we get back to this. We did it in Nashville and we're going to do it again. The 50-yard rush.
I'm all over it.
We're going for a 50-yard rush from Gibbs or Monty. I reckon that might be the special this week on the Points Bet app on the American Aces Hub.
Love it.
The Giants, though, with Dart, he's going to have to, they can still give up a bit. Well, actually, you know what? The Detroit Lions defense was impressive last week.
They were.
I don't know whether the Eagles offense is just puke, but I still think this will go up and down. The one thing I'll say about the Giants is they are going to be exciting to watch. They have got nothing to lose. and they can sit back and sling it. And Winston, if you want a quarterback, a bridge quarterback, I actually love him. I reckon he is a perfect quarterback, like the beef brisket. They can sit there, they can run the offense, they can throw the ball. Yeah, they'll turn it over a couple of times. But when you're building and you're not going to win a Super Bowl, like if I was the Raiders, I'm getting Winston. Get him in for 2 years. Go draft a quarterback this year if there's one there for you, and build that team and that O-line. I think Winston is a gem that's sitting on a depth chart way too deep. What is he, third on the depth chart?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I hope the Giants can actually hold their head up high a little bit after last week's performance against the Packers. It was, they showed a lot of courage there. I mean, there's not much to play for anymore for them. They just lost their head coach. You do have your third string essential quarterback in playing, and they showed a bit of ticker there, to be honest, and to the point where they could have actually won that game. The run game got going a little bit with Tracy and Singletary. And we know what what Winston's going to give you. He's going to sling it around. He has no shame. He's got no worries. He's just going to do what he needs to do. And they came close to getting the job done. But I just think the Detroit Lions are a different beast right now, and playing them at home is a tough environment right now.
Well said, mate. Well said. Let's keep moving. I think it's a one-way affair. We're going to have some fun with that. Anyone out there, that's the game to target, being at Detroit. No weather, So we're going to remind you, it's got the lid on it. We love the lids. Vikings at the Packers. Talk about the lids. This is the opposite. It's going to be cold. And I must say, the Packers are giving up a bit on the ground. Josh Jacobs hurt his knee. I think Wilson was the biggest fantasy waiver player I've seen for the year so far. We had 9 people bid on him.
Absolutely.
He cost 235 in our league, and we have 1,000. So I'd love to know what everyone else out there had as that's over 23% of FARB spent on one player.
I had one guy with it. We have 100 in ours, and I think he went for 53. So
55% of FARB. Yeah, that's crazy. Mate, this game, I reckon, we're talking about the Vikings. This is season on the line for Vikings. Packers offense has looked horrific. You know what? When Love went out of the game last week, they started to look a little bit better. Watson, I said last week he's good to go. He dropped a deep ball for 30 yards and had 2 touchdowns for 40-odd, but he is starting to look a little bit like his pay packet of 12 mil guaranteed 1 year. Hey, I reckon they know what they've got there. If he stays healthy, he's a jet. Dobbs looks like he gets injured every catch, man.
Dobbs, Jordan Love's game looks so much better if Dobbs takes those 2 catches, those deep balls.
Good call.
They're 30-plus yard receptions that he clearly should have taken, really. We've seen him take way harder catches before, and Love's game actually looks so much better. There's 60 yards already there for him that gets added to his total.
And the drive continues.
And the drive continues, So, we've got to give a little bit of stick to Love. And the last 3 weeks that he hasn't been great. But I thought on the weekend, his wide receivers let him down big time in situations where they could have got themselves in the red zone and the game could have looked a lot different for him. So I think, Love gets a little bit of stick. I still think he needs to be better, but I thought he was a little bit stiff because the wide receivers certainly let him down on the weekend.
Fair call. I don't have a lot for you in this game. I can't trust JJ McCarthy, and I don't know where they're going to go with the ball. Hawkinson hasn't been involved at all. And Justin Jefferson, he's a superstar, but he's being missed. Maybe they can connect on a deep ball this week. I just think the Packers' defense is so good. So this will be an ugly game.
Yeah, I think the last 2 games that have been played at Lambeau, it's been 10-7 against the Eagles, and then it was 13-10 against the Panthers. So you got to look at those last 2 games that have been cold. I just don't think you're going to get much out of it, and it will be a terribly high-scoring game.
Yeah, let's keep moving on. Not a great one there for fantasy owners. Aaron Jones might be able to get involved. He's increased his workload. Seahawks at Titans. This one's in Nashville. I'd love to be at this game because I reckon there's been, I'll start again in terms of a team. When you know a real team, when the defensive players defending their quarterback after his worst game he could possibly play. Yet that we all know the quarterback cost him that game. But for him to stand up for Sam Darnold and say he's the reason we're here, he's not the reason we lost, we could have made better plays. I loved it. Great. That is a real teammate. And that says a lot about that group.
100%.
And you're going to see something this week. Yeah. You're going to see Sam Darnold at his best. And I think this is a bounce back game. Just load up JSN. I know he had a big game last week in terms of yards, but he actually didn't have that much of an output. I just think there's one player I'm ready to watch, and it's Shaheed. There's something that's screaming at me. Shaheed they haven't let him loose yet. He's been there for 2 or 3 weeks now. I haven't seen him out the back. A lot of jet sweeps and but there hasn't been a big play. I'm looking for a Shaheed big play this week against the Titans. They are vulnerable in that secondary, and this is going to be fun. I reckon if you're a young quarterback who has to go up against the Seahawks that got beat, good luck. Yeah. This is fun. I think if you've got Seahawks as defense in your fantasy, you might even get 20 points.
Oh, you're licking your chops, aren't you, to be honest? I mean, they were still outstanding. They lost that game by 2 last week.
They missed a field goal at the end.
And they missed a field goal at the end to win the game. And you know, Darnold had 4 picks. So that's still a big credit to the Seahawks defense for standing up against what has been one of the best offensive group in the LA Rams all season long. And, you know, he only gave up 21 points and a field goal from winning the game. Yeah, it's going to be a tough ask for young Cam Ward.
Put your plums on the line without putting them on the line. Give me your exact number you honestly think JSN will have in yards this week.
I think he can go for 142 and 2 tutties.
Yeah. The tutties are the things that I was against just catching me out a bit. The yards, I actually think you're right.
I think 142. I'll go with 142.
Okay. I'm gonna go with 164.
Wow.
But I reckon he won't. I got a feeling he
won't score.
Probably has to score.
I think he scores,
unless
mate.
It's a Wilson job.
I think he scores, mate. Yeah.
I just think this will be a massive game.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's not much to talk about from the Titans. They're shot 1-9, and talk about. I should have thrown them in the Raiders Atlanta question. All right, here we go.
But we know what we're going to get from them. We know where they're at. They're real good.
They're fine.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, they've got a few years ahead of them.
Yep.
That's why we don't really beat them up. All right, here we go. And by the way, Kenneth Walker, like I said, he's back. I thought he actually carried the offense last week. He got him back in the game. So really monitor that. Yeah. Him and Charbonnet. I reckon they might start to use him more. As we always speak about, as it gets colder and later in the year, there could be a little bit of a plan there. So monitor it. Certainly bounced back since I've told him he's on the ban list. This is probably the biggest game of the round, I reckon, implication-wise, because if you win the game, your season's alive. If you lose the game, I think your season's over if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. I've said this last week. I said it the week before. I'm strong on, I know they can't win the Super Bowl this year. They were favourites last week. They're still third favourite, Sip. Yeah, I'm not a hater. I actually love watching Mahomes and their offense. Congratulations to Kelsey breaking the record last week for the Tuds, franchise record.
Yep.
But this game here in Arrowhead, Colts, if you're serious, you win. Chiefs, if you win, you're back in the hunt. This is box office for me. I'm going to have this one on as my main TV with me laptop on Red Zone because this is the game that I reckon the Colts win. JT, you get to work and you do and you go for 202. You deserve the MVP in my books. And the Chiefs, they're $1.55. They got beat by the Broncos last week that was missing, a little bit on the defense and a couple of players here and there. And it was a mature performance from the Broncos. Is it a changing of the guard? I don't know. You tell me, Sip.
I think teams aren't as intimidated by the Chiefs anymore. After what the Eagles did to them in last year's Super Bowl, I think there's just been a bit of a change in terms of how teams approach the Chiefs anymore, and they're not as intimidated. They're seeing that Mahomes can put up some serious numbers and still lose a game. That never used to happen. If Mahomes is throwing for 250 plus in any game, they're winning games. That's what's happened for the last 7 or 8 years. And it hasn't been the same this time round. And they've still got all the pieces. Rashid Rice comes back. He's been dominant. Kelsey is starting to get open again because of that. They've still got Worthy. I think
Worthy's been really
needs to be part of the offense a little bit more. In my opinion, he's too good of a player to not be involved. But they still have those players that are really explosive and can open the game up. And teams aren't as scared anymore, I think. They're not as intimidated. And they're coming in with more confidence, knowing that their game style can work. And I think that's just the way it's looking for them. But in saying that, I think they win this game. I think they keep their season alive. At home definitely helps. It can definitely happen if they're able to stop JT. We've seen when the teams have stopped him that it is incredibly tough for the Colts to get their offense going, and I think the Chiefs have the D line to be able to do that, and the Chiefs do keep their season alive and give themselves a little inkling of playoff football again.
I'm out on the Chiefs. I'm out on them. I'd love to see the JT show break a great defense. I think that if he can do something good against this defense, then
agree.
oh my God.
He should win MVP if he's able to score 120, get 120 plus in this game. There's no doubt.
Worthy's burning me.
Yep.
I'm not willing to give up on him. I reckon he gets a good matchup here. But I think this could be points. This is a good game for points, I think.
Yeah, I like it.
Pittman in the slot.
Colts are number 2 right now in the league for the most points, per game. And, I think this is going to be a ripping game.
Talking about points, let's keep moving. It's time for the Jets taking on the Ravens in Baltimore. I'm just reading here on ESPN. Ravens, Lamar Jackson misses practice with ankle injury for the second straight week. Lamar Jackson didn't practice for the Ravens on Wednesday. This time, the 2-time MVP is listed with an ankle injury. I'd imagine that's just rest up because he's obviously had the hammy. Yep. So I'm not going to look into that, but I'm just reading it now as Stephon Diggs shares photos of his newborn in the Patriots gear with Cardi B.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Stephon. He'll obviously be back in the hospital. He's got another 4 or 5 on the way, doesn't he, Sip?
4 kids and touchdowns this year.
He's had a couple of days. He'd have to 3 touchdowns. Surely not.
I think he's got 4 kids. So.
Well, what a busy man. He should be He should be the ambassador for condom commercial.
Probably should be. Yeah, good on him.
All right, Jets Ravens. I mean, Flowers. Talk about a bloke that can't score a tud.
I know. Jeez,
But can play well.
This week's the week, isn't it?
This is the one. So I'm looking there.
Derrick Henry should be licking his chops. No Quinnen Williams anymore on that D line for the Jets, and he should just be going, "Give me the ball," because I should be getting 150 and 2 touchdowns. Thank you very much.
I reckon Mitchell might even have an explosive play here. Fields has been benched. Tyrod Taylor will start, I'd imagine. I'm just excited about the Ravens bouncing back. The defense, our man Roquan just calling the game late. I felt for Sanders. He comes on. We're talking about him in the next game, but coming off the bench and having to face a defense that's playing from behind. So they're playing for their season, and the poor Sanders comes on and he's facing you blokes like Hamilton and Roquan and there's that many players. All their secondary are going really well, but there's just a lot of players that Van Noy that had to deal with, and he was just getting minced, but. He'd be better for the run. This is a blowout, and I think the Ravens offer poor performance offensively, and the defense has been really strong. Look at their last 3 weeks. They haven't allowed teams to score too many points. And remember, the Browns last week had a pick 6, I believe, of Lamar. This is going to be fun. And the guy I like as well is Likely. I think Mark Andrews has had he's the main man. By the way, that QB sneak, 4th one, 2:40 to go. Man, that is the best play call of all time.
Yeah, good.
Off the top, look with a tight end.
It was actually very good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that with a tight end. Yeah. And they should do it more. I saw a college team do it. They did the old shuffle it back to the bloke at the back, and they all pretend to push, and then he ran. And I'm like, genius.
So good.
The tush push is really evolving.
It has. Yeah, I like it. That's why you got to keep it in, because teams need to figure out a different way to be able to make it work, and it's great. I know, it's good.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell, of all people, are the one going, I'm all for it. Let's get it done.
I reckon he said that because he goes, I got a plan, boys.
I got to do it, boys. I got 14.
I'm telling you, boys.
I love it.
All right, we'll keep moving because this is pretty easy. The Ravens.
Yep,
Browns at Raiders. This is actually going to be fun. I think.
reckon?
Well, I want to watch Sanders with a full week of prep. He's meant to be starting, Sip.
Yeah, that's okay. I just think it's got all kinds of putrid over it.
I don't know. I reckon it's going to be fun. I just feel like it could be chaos.
I don't know.
Miles Garrett is on track for 26 sacks.
I'm all on the Browns. I think that the Raiders are completely shot. Then their O-line coming up against Miles Garrett is going to be a bloodbath. The guy will have 6 sacks. He'll break the record for the most sacks in a game. There's no way they're going to stop him. The guy's a beast. The Raiders O-line shot to pieces. Gino's going to be like this sideways. He'll be broken. He will be broken. So I just think it's got all kinds of pooch over it. The Raiders are shot to pieces, and the Browns should be able to get it done on the back of their defense.
Really? I like it. I'm looking forward to watching the Browns play this one. This will be fun. Brock Bowers is getting peppered last week, and I was loving it. I have Judkins in fantasy, so I'm hoping that he can do what Derrick Henry did at a 59-yard gash last week. But, mate, the guy that you'd like to see is Jerry Jeudy get to work, and I just want to know who's Sanders' man. Who's Sanders going to link up with? Because he might go, Tillman, you're my man.
Well,
he might go with Fannin, the tight end, you're my man, a joke. I don't know, but you're going to see it. He's going to fall back to something.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a tight end.
Yeah, I feel like it's either you either go to your number one guy because you just know that you can just rely on them. They're there for a reason. Or you're right. I think they go to a bigger frame, a little bit of check down stuff, just guarantee a few yards. And that's the way, the tight end normally gets involved with that a little bit. And I said it a few weeks ago about the Texans. I thought with Collins and Schultz, I think it's a similar thing for Browns and Saunders. I think that they're the two options that he has. You go to your number one guy and you just get him to make plays, or you play it a little bit safer, and the bigger frames will help you get those yardage.
Well said, mate. Well said. Well, yeah, I just said I'm looking forward to it. Will it be defensive? Will it be offensive? I've got no idea, but it's going to be fun. There'll be chaos. And I think Sanders, he reminds me of Winston a little bit. I just feel like he's willing to sling it and turn it over or get the big plays, and I like that.
Which is what you want in the game. I think you want plays where you're not conservative and you just want something to happen, and it could be the other way, and all of a sudden they're 40-yard bombs, and here we go.
Pretty good storyline playing the Raiders. It's just there's plenty to talk about. All right, there's some cracker games to come. We've probably spoken about the other games for too long, so let's fly now. Let's fly. Jags Cards. I've got nothing for you. Let's see what kind of how fraudulent the Jags are. If they get this done like they should, because the Cardinals are just getting blown out in the secondary, then they go to 7-4, and you're going to see them in the playoffs.
Agreed.
On the other side of things, I'm loving McBride. Your man, the 1 year to get off him was the wrong year, and Wilson last week.
Off him. I'm just excited that freaking the Brisket's giving him some love. I love it.
I'm saying in terms of every week last year, you're like tutty, you never got it.
And he doesn't get it, but now it's just exciting. It's so good.
It's weekly.
He's clearly the number one tight end by a long way. I saw a stat today that Jake Ferguson from the Cowboys is number 2 for the tight ends in terms of stats and everything like that, and he's closer to number 20 than he is to McBride, who's number 1. That's how good he is going right now.
And we said it at the start of the year, him and Brock Bowers are the only ones you'd touch. Brock Bowers obviously had the knee injury. If he didn't have that, it'd be similar output. Mate, I'm just going to keep it simple here. I'm going to not have a tip in terms of like who. I mean, I'm going to be cheering on the Cardinals. I just don't know. I don't like the Jags.
If the Jags are anything serious, then they need to go in and get the job done. As simple as that for me.
Exactly right. But my head says Jags will win. And the player that you got to look at, it's got to be Myers. Myers is the main man. Now there's talk about Brian Thomas getting benched, which is crazy talk considering they need him back out there. But Myers is traded. They got a little bit of a connection building up, 60 yards last week. And this secondary gave up a lot. The one play that I loved last week was George Kittle. So do we look at a Jags tight end? I don't know. And then the Cards, Wilson, McBride, and that's it. They don't really have much else.
Harrison Jr.'s out again, so that's going to make it tough.
Beef Brisket broke the record, NFL record for pass attempts. Was it 59 or something last week? Yeah.
Lost by 20 and had 400 yards.
Here we go. Here we go.
This is going to be a good game.
I'm going Cowboys.
Wow.
You owe me 2 jerseys. You owe me 2. I'm going to put one on the line.
I'll just keep going with it. Whatever. I'm going the Eagles, baby.
You're banking on NFL Australia to send you some more.
NFL Australia, you've done a great job. If you can give me a couple, that would be fantastic. I need a Bijan Robertson one, and I think I need a
Gibbs one.
A Gibbs one. one. So just I'm just putting it out there right now. So maybe one might get taken off. We'll see.
Good in the studio.
No, I'm going with the cow. I'm going with the Eagles. No, I'm
Did you
going
say
with the
Cowboys?
Eagles. No, I'm going with the Eagles on this one. But geez, hasn't it been nice to watch the Cowboys offense go? It's pretty good to watch. Like it's exciting. Pickens has just added another layer, and it is a good one.
Don't worry about their defense. I think what Jerry Jones has done is a big tick.
Getting Quinn Williams in there, they absolutely stuffed the run on the weekend. And I know, again, playing the Raiders and they're shit. This is a different beast. The O-line is elite for the Eagles. This is going to be a great game. I expect more points to be put on the board.
I'm on the Cowboys train this week. I've had enough of this huge defense. Phillips and Carter eating up the O-line. I want to see Dak just get back and sling it to Pickens and Lamb and Ferguson to finish it off.
I love it.
I can't wait. I hope AJ Brown can get going. Skinny Batman in Smitty. He's a machine, Smitty. I actually really like Smitty.
I like Smitty
I've seen a couple of clips of him and Paddy Satan talking on a potty. It's pretty funny as well.
He's a humble man, and I just love it. He's awesome.
It's amazing you played with these guys, man. And this is the game of the week, really. One of the games of the week. So I'm going to go Dallas. Yeah. I want to see Lamb get a few more yards. And one thing I can guarantee, we said last week there's 3 guarantees in life. Well, death, taxes, and Pickens are allowed to be hydrated this week. I can guarantee you that. They'll be well hydrated before this one. That's all I got, Sid.
I love it. That's awesome.
That's all I got for you. I think Smitty might have a big day. All right, let's go to this game. $1.90 you can get for Atlanta.
Geez.
The $1.90 for Atlanta. It might be the best bet of the year, mate. I don't know. I've done it before. They've burnt me a lot this year, actually. Remember San Fran?
They have.
Atlanta.
Surely they get it done.
At New Orleans.
Yeah. Surely they still get it done.
Have played really well against the Panthers
and
then off the bye.
They're off the bye, yeah.
And when you lose so badly, you normally respond. Think about the Jags. They gave up a heap of points to the Texans. They come back and they smack the Chargers. Yeah. We spoke about the Lions. They haven't lost 2 in a row since 2022. And you're going to see what the Ravens are going to do to the Jets off a really poor performance. They didn't lose, but their offense nearly lost it for them. So you just see how they bounce back. And I reckon this week here, this Falcons is a great spot at $1.90. That might be the best value of the week. And the way you do it is through Bijan. And you're going to have to find Mooney because London's injured.
London's out,
But in saying that, they do have a few weapons out. But remember, Shaheed's been traded. So Olave, he gets a tough matchup. So I think this is a really nice spot.
Oh, well, the Falcons need to win this game. It's as simple as that. If they're any chance or want to show something, then they need to. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter the fact that it's down at New Orleans. They have to get this done. They are a better team, and they need to show it.
Yeah, this is the Bijan show. I hope. Anyway, let's keep moving. Buccaneers at the Rams. Here we go. SoFi Stadium. Just cast your mind back to 2 things. Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield being on the practice squad for the Panthers. That just come to my mind because we're going to talk about the Panthers and the Niners next in this Christian McCaffrey Cup. And then cast your mind to when Baker got an opportunity for the Rams.
Game-winning drive.
Didn't even know his teammate's name. He said he headbutted a bloke that he didn't even know his name. He knows his name now. And had the game-winning drive. Elite. And I think that's what set up his future. And if you watch the clip, there's a few clips out there. Go watch it. It's so elite. And I reckon it's a special game for Baker. He's going to want to play well there. I reckon there's a lot of people in that room that he'll never forget. It was only a short time, but they gave him a chance. Yeah. And, that's where my mind goes.
Yeah. There's no doubt that Baker Mayfield would be so thankful for what the Rams did for him in that short period of time and just giving him an opportunity to get out there because there was a lot of doubt on him, a lot of question marks. People thought he was definitely done, and the Rams gave him a shot there. And then, he has to go out there and execute, but the right people at the right time allows him to be probably in this position that he is right now, and he hasn't looked back since. So this one should be a ripping game. I think the odds are probably a bit. I don't know. I think paying like $3.40 for the Bucks. I know that it's a tough one. I know they have to go on the road again. The Bills after last week, I get it, but I still think it's probably a little bit closer than that. I just think Baker finds a way to like kind of get going. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a ripping game.
How many yards for Puka here? I say it every week, and you probably go, Tommy, you're not going to say it again. But anyone that plays the Bucks,
the
you can
secondary definitely gets affected, no doubt. And it was shown last week with the Bills not having a particular number one guy, but they like Josh Allen did his thing. It was guys that he was being able to throw to for fun, and the secondary was just. It was obliterated in the end, to be honest. And you've got coming up against, fucking hell, Puka and Devontae Adams there. It could be trouble.
Adams just scores tards and Puka does all the work and then normally can finish. I just think this Puka, I honestly think.
It's a 120-plus game.
I think it's more than that.
You think so? 150-plus?
I think the whole offense will go through Puka.
I think it could look that way for sure.
I watched a clip this week of Greg Olsen.
I'd love it to be another game like the Bills.
I watched the clip of this week of Greg Olsen just breaking down the nickel and the way that.
How good is he?
Yeah, and the way he he's the best, isn't he? And the way he's breaking down how McVay tries to get, a big, like he tries to match the formations. If they come out, then he goes, right, well, then we'll run this personnel. But that means that Puka gets all this space out the back. And it makes a lot of sense. He goes, he's done it for years. And that's why Cooper Kupp played so well. And now obviously he's playing the same thing. And when you start to listen to someone like a Greg Olsen, you go, oh, no wonder he's always free because what they're doing on the line of scrimmage is they're going, we're going to run and we're going to continue to run it. But then we've got on third down, you're going to think we're going to run it and we've got so much space at the back. And when he was breaking this down, I go, geez, he's smart. Yeah. And he's someone that you'd love to just educate young guys on formations and how coaches set them up to for success, really.
Absolutely.
And how well that he forces the other coach's hand to match formations and all that. So found that fascinating.
Very, very good.
Back on track here, mate. I just think Puka Nacua yards and the guy that I'm looking for is Otten. I thought that the tight ends from Seahawks last week got to work. And that would have been a deliberate, tactic because of how good the Rams defense is.
Yep.
And I reckon this one will be different to Seahawks and Rams. I think the Seahawks defense I honestly think they're one of the best in the league.
Yep.
So the Rams will be able to let it fly, and we know Baker can keep up. And I reckon your man Amika Ibuka has been a little bit down. I reckon he's got a big one in him. So, mate, sticking to the guns here. It's a primetime game. It's 12:20 Sunday, Monday. Arvo for us.
Yep.
Well, 12:20 lunchtime. But it's the prime time slot, and I just think we finally get points.
I'm excited by it. It's going to be another ripping game. We're definitely getting points in prime time, so it should be a ripper.
Righto, last one. Obviously, Broncos, Dolphins, Chargers, and Commanders on the bye. Panthers at 49ers. It's the Christian McCaffrey Cup. Will Christian McCaffrey have another 3 tuds? He has been enormous this year. Talk about a fantasy gem. He's probably the one that everybody would have got a little bit later than they should have. He's been enormous. Kittle's back. Purdy's back. The whole offense is back. The defense isn't. So can we see a huge game from Bryce Young? I looked at his stats to see how bad of a beat I had last week. Do you know how bad it was? He hasn't thrown for 200 yards this year. He's thrown for 300 once, and he hasn't thrown for 200 any other week, except for this week. He threw for 448 and broke a franchise record, Sips. So is it an outlier performance? I think he's just trending upwards. And I think this is the perfect week to do it again. Not that many yards, but it's got the 250, 300. McMillan was huge last week. Huge. 130 and 2.
I think most of their wide receivers had quite a nice day, to be honest, in the end, didn't they? I mean, he is going in the upwards direction. It's good to see. And, I mean, Panthers have been a little bit of a surprise packet. Started really rough for them.
Remember the start of the year I spoke about the O-line?
This could be really ugly.
Remember the start of the year, the O-line?
And they've turned it around. Rico Dowdle being
$30 million extra on the O-line compared to any other team. I think that's the answer for the Raiders.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm loving Rico Dowdle is now taking over as the number one guy as well. And you've just seen a dramatic change and their offense looks really good. The defense has started to stand up a little bit better. The run game has been better, but you are coming up against a pretty good guy this weekend who will definitely want to make a statement. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing for the Falcons, and honestly, very important game for them. They get into this, all of a sudden, they're in contention to be the number one team in their division. Bucks lose, both teams, and they win, and the Panthers win. Both teams are 7-5.
Do you know who wins this game?
Oh, okay.
The Panthers are going to go on top.
You get one on the road.
The Panthers are going to go on top in their division.
Wow. I love it.
And you know what happens if they don't?
Wow.
You're going to sing Carolina Mike. We're going to get you to do the Carolina Mike. If they don't. Sit. How's that for a deal?
Sure.
I'll wipe the jerseys if you do the Carolina Mike.
Sure.
Shake on that. If the Panthers lose, you can do Carolina Mike.
I want to let y'all know exactly what I would do if I had an AJ Brown problem. Check it out. I'ma go to Sirianni, tell him fix this crap. Wait a minute, Sirianni, he was taking a nap. I'ma go triple too low and say what's up. Then I'ma grab his playbook and I'ma tear it up. And then I go to AJ and say hi, bruh. Then I grab his hand and sing Kumbaya. Then he looked at me and said whoop-de-doo. Then I took his mask off like Scooby-Doo.
Why do I have to do it?
Because if they win, I'll give you some money. Because we're gonna back them at 360 on the PointsBet app. I'm going for the upset. I think the Rams beat the Bucks and the Panthers take the top in the division.
Yeah, I like it.
Everyone knows I'm off the Niners. You know what?
Know.
You know, I might as well stick with me. Yeah,
keep going.
Stick with the way I'm going. You
Keep
know,
going with
this
your
the tune
guns.
of
I
the
love
year.
it.
But
I love it.
I think the Niners have nothing in the secondary.
Yeah.
And I think the Panthers are a sneaky. And I just think
I like it.
I'd love to see an upset. So I'm on the upset. Monday Night Football, Tuesday, 12:15 Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'm seeing Carolina Mike get on that microphone. And he's going to be throwing cash in the air. And Bryce Young's going to go for 250 and 2 tuds. And Dowdle's going to run it down the guts. And I think Purdy will be in the game late, but they're going to fall short by 3 points. There you go. Bold prediction time. That's all we have here, Sip. That is a huge show. Big show, Sip. Big show. And some big games. I've got, again, if we just recap everything here, but Colts Chiefs, unbelievable game to watch. It's a massive game for the teams. Steelers Bears is also huge. Steelers lose. Ravens are just going to wipe them. And the Bears will go 8-4 on the 8-3 on the season. And if you keep scrolling down, you get the Colts Chiefs, season on the line for the Chiefs. Colts, same thing. You want the 1 seed, you need a win. And then we move all the way down to the Browns the Browns Raiders, which is going to be Sanders' first start, we think. And it's going to be really fun to watch. But the main game here, Eagles Cowboys, Falcons Saints to keep the Falcons. You know what? The Falcons actually could keep their season alive if
they can.
The Panthers lose, the Bucks lose, and they keep winning out. They play the Saints twice at the end of the year here. Anyway, Bucks, Rams, Panthers, Diners. It's
another great week.
Unbelievable.
Another great week.
Unbelievable. Awesome. Well, that's all we've got. I'll work out what we do with some of these gift packs. Another shout out to NFL Australia for looking after the studio and looking after the aces. To everyone that gets on our primetime Rick's giveaway, thank you for that. We hope you enjoyed that. We might have to continue it. And Sip, we'll get our best bets on the American Aces Hub. We're powered by PointsBet, so make sure you check out the app with some of our specials. Instead of doing the best bets show, we've decided that we're going to go with a little bit more time to put up the markets because of all the moving pieces like Lamar Jackson today being listed as questionable, which will be fine, but we get a bit more information. So get up there and you'll get some specials. And that's all I've got. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you same time next week. Cheers.
You got hands like buckets.
The NBA is back. And to celebrate at PointsBet, place a head-to-head bet on the Lakers versus Warriors. And if your team scores the first basket, you win. That's right. Your team scores first, get paid out early. See your account for personalized max stake limit. PointsBet. It's like hot sauce, but for basketball. Yeah, that's built different. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.